Hello, my independent ladies. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Just wanted to come to you quickly to talk about something that I witnessed. I was a part of. Actually, it just happened on a live that a sister was doing. And one of her guests was talking about the reason why black women can't keep or can't get black men is because of our mouths, and we're not submissive enough, and we need to become more submissive to our men. And she's the only one going around teaching this. I don't remember her name. A very young sister. And it's because she's young that she doesn't understand that this submission game has been played on black women for a very long time. So I'm all for the submission, but it's got to go both ways, because you have rights over him and he has rights over you. It is not the case that he has all the rights and you have none. And that's what you do when there's a one-way submission. Okay? When he's the boss, he gets the final say. But a lot of the things that people don't understand, when the man has the final say, the woman still has a voice in that. And that is why, if you believe in the submission of a woman to a man, you need to vet the man that you're with to make sure that he will respect your opinions, he will respect your point of view, and he will consider your opinions and point of view as he's making the final decision. When you're with a man who doesn't respect who you are, he will make decisions without even discussing with you. Having the final say doesn't mean having the only say. Having the final say means, okay, after I've gathered everything, after I've heard my wife, after I've heard all the things that need to be said, I'm going to use all of that and make a final decision. It doesn't mean I'm going to come home and I'm going to tell you what to do. You gotta, you have to do what I say. You have no say, because essentially when someone does that, is because they're afraid of communicating and they don't respect the other person in the marriage. Okay? So we have a lot of black men, in particular, I'm dealing with black men here, who use that they want a submissive woman, but don't understand that there are things that you have to do in order to make sure that you are a righteous or a fair person, and make sure that you are deserving of that submission. Are you taking care of your family financially? She don't have to go out and work, and you gotta still come home and do everything, and she's supposed to still be submissive to you. Then you're not doing your job. Because the reason why you are head of the household is because you're supposed to be going out there being the provider, the protector, the nurturer. The nurturer is her job, but the provider and the protector. She comes in and she's the reinforcement to you, a couple to you, and her job is the comforter, the nurturer. She takes care of home front while you're gone. That doesn't mean she's less than you and that she has to submit to you. It means that she has a different job than you. That's all that means. You're no better than her, but when you're talking about the duties as head of the household, you have that one little bit of edge, meaning that you have the final say in everything. But you have to consider what your wife's feelings are, how she feels about things. You have to know, because you two of you have to discuss it. And it can't be like, I'm making this decision, I don't give a damn what you say, I don't give a damn what you think. That is not what submission is. That is someone that's being abusive in a relationship. And the thing, when I hear young people talk about submission, you don't understand what submission is. And that it goes both ways. It's not just a one-way thing. And this still has to be based on love and respect and communication in a marriage. Okay, so a lot of the time that I see these women in submissive relationship, the man is telling them to do everything. They don't have a say. They don't control the money. They don't have, they get something, the money from the man, even if they're working. They got to give their money to the man, and he makes all the financial decisions. Okay? They got to ask the man everything, permission to do everything. That is not an equal partner in a relationship doing two separate roles. That is a man with another child. Okay? So when you give up your authority inside of a relationship, talking about, I'm submitting to my husband, because you don't want to lose that man, because he, he talking about, you got to submit. But they're not providing, they're not protecting, they're not being protective of you emotionally, psychologically, in what they say and what they do. That is all a part of their job. That would win them the submission that they're talking about. But they don't want to do that. I don't care how much money they have. If they're not doing their job, they do not deserve submission. Okay, as head of the household. The head of the household thing, there's a lot that comes to that. You got to provide financially. You got to protect. You got to protect your wife emotionally and psychologically. That means you can't be abusive to her. You can't hit her and tell her that she deserves it because of her mouth and she needs to submit. That is not a loving marriage. So you be careful, and I will do some more on submission and not giving up who you are in the relationship to try to hold on to a man who doesn't even know who he is, but only cares about subjugating somebody else in a relationship because he doesn't see her as an equal, as someone that needs to be respected and loved. And that all of these men, they like to go into these religions and these places where submission is taught to the woman because they are not, and they infiltrate, they put themselves in there because they know that these women are taught submission to the man, knowing that they're not doing what they're supposed to do to earn that submission and that trust and that love from that woman. Because a woman, we will automatically submit when we feel loved, protected, taken care of. That is in our nature. So, but you can't be sitting here, submit to me. You submit to me, woman. Shut your mouth. Don't say nothing. You can't say nothing. You talk too much. You don't, I'm the boss. I'm paying everything. You don't got nothing to say. Just do what I say. And that's a lot more of what's going on. And if a woman has an opinion, your mouth, man, your mouth. Calling hard cons and names and everything. Be careful that you do not confuse submission to a good man who is loving you, protecting you, taking care of you emotionally, psychologically, physically, financially. That man that deserves submission, with a tyrant who's using the word submission to keep you in line out of fear and hatred of you. Be careful what you put yourself into, the position that you put yourself into. Because if you put yourself in the wrong position, talking about you submitting to your man, and your man ain't shit, he don't care about you, he don't love you, he don't respect your thought, he don't respect your mind, he don't respect nothing about you. He just looks at you as a piece of property that has no thought. You're in trouble.